Well, well. I think we're live. We're live. Are we live on a Saturday night? I think we're live. I think we're live. I'm not sure, but let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes as people come in. And the gazillions and gazillions of viewers they start coming in to see another comic journey influences. And this time we don't only have Kool-Aid Man as our guest host. We got Punchy. Yeah, that's right. We got Punchy and we got Kool-Aid Man. We got plenty. We got plenty of host material tonight. And hello, Beefit. How are you? And I am going. I'm actually excited about doing this interview because I don't really know that much about Theo as I know about some of the other guests that we have. So I'm actually really, really, really interested in learning all about this guy, and I'm sure you're gonna be interested in learning all about him too. But in the meantime, this is what we're gonna do right now because this is what channels do. They play their intro. They play the. Let's play the intro. Let's play the intro. And I hope you enjoyed the world's longest intro video for any kind of stream. Um, I promise, I assure you, I will be working very hard and diligently to create an even longer one to, entertain you longer at the beginning of the streams. But that being said, I see people are starting to filter in because we're doing it on a Saturday night today, prime time on a Saturday night. Why? Why? Because my guest, the Rage Theo, Theo Rage, the one that's raging all the time. Theo, he said, if you're gonna have me on, you gotta only have me on prime time on a Saturday night. I don't want any crappy weekday night. I want the freaking weekend prime time spot. That's what I want because I'm a freaking diva, and you gotta give me that type slot. And I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna oblige. I'm gonna oblige, Mister Rage Steel. So we're obliging. We're obliging, and we're gonna have a fantastic interview today. And right before I let everybody, I'm gonna say a quick hello to everybody that's filtering in. Hello, Beefit. Hello, K-pop. Hello, Comics by the Babe, Mister Marlboro Matt himself, and hello, David Richard. And who else we have in here? I don't know. I think that's it. That's it. More people will come in. That's a good start. And the comic book worm. I saw him somewhere there. There you go. There you go, worm. Okay. All right. That being said, let's get our guest in here. Well, hello there, Theo.
Okay,
Welcome.
first of all, I did not say that. I did not say put me on prime time. But thank you for having me on, sir. I appreciate that.
Well, how am I gonna introduce you, and how am I gonna explain that we're doing it on a Saturday night? You're being modest. You're being modest. Tell everybody, I'm Rage Theo, damn it, and I want Saturday night spot. That's it.
Hey, I'm a dad of three. This is all I could squeeze in. Cheers, Chad.
Oh, you're really a dad of three. I see. We're learning stuff already. That
Yeah,
means
I am. Yeah, I
that
am.
you have a significant other. You're married, that kind of thing.
I am married. Yes, sir. We actually just hit 11 years.
Oh my God! So boys and girls, you're out of luck.
Yeah, I have both boys and girls. Yeah.
You hear that, chat? You're out of luck. There's no Rage Theo sexy time for you. He's taken. All right, so that's it. No, none of that. Wow, you're a young guy. How you have 3 kids already?
Well, interesting story. I met my wife on vacation in Mexico when I was 19, and you know the expression, when you know, you know. You
Good
just
for
know.
you.
Yeah,
Good
you just
early
know.
start.
Yeah. We didn't get married right away. You know, we dated for a little bit. You know, we were both in college at the time, but you know, things progressed and eventually we tied the knot and fast forward, here we are and I'm selling comic books.
And you apparently like her because you still have all your hair. It's not gray. It's not
I got
falling
most I
out.
got most of it, yeah.
Holy shit! Look at you. Good for you. Oh man. Oh, God bless. You know, very good. Very, very good. All right. So we got that out of the way. Wow. You knocked out questions for me before I even got a chance. But let's start from the genesis.
I came
Theo.
prepared. I got you. I got you.
Theo is your real name, correct?
That's
It's
right.
not a stage name.
No,
What's with
that's
the
right.
what's with the rage? Like I don't. You're always smiling. I never seen you angry about anything. What's with the rage thing? What's going on?
It's just a nickname that was given to me since a very young age. And long story short, everything I do, I kind of do with a rageful passion. That makes sense.
So you don't like go berserker like Wolverine or anything like that. None of that. It's just you go in with like high motivation, rage, that kind of thing.
So you know, because we're live, I'm going to say yes. Yes, that is correct.
We're gonna keep the incidents off the air. So
Always
tell
rage responsibly, guys. Always rage responsibly.
so tell me a little bit about yourself. You know, yeah, like I said earlier when we opened up the stream, you're one of the few individuals that I don't know that much about on a personal level. I know what you've been doing on Instagram. I know what you've been doing on whatnot, and at the same time, what you just recently started on YouTube. And other than that, you're a little bit of a mystery to me. So tell us a little bit as far as who you are. How long ago did you get involved into the comics and comic community?
So it's been about 3 years. I've always been a superhero fan since I was a kid, but I never really had the chance to kind of go down that route. My dad never took me to the LCS when I asked. Instead, he enrolled me in, you know, like jujitsu and wrestling and football and things like that. And then, yeah, you know, I became a young adult, started dating. I definitely didn't have any time for comics then. When I got married, I definitely didn't have any time for comics. When my kids were babies, I didn't have any time for comics. It wasn't until they got a little bit older and I started going to see like the Avengers movies in theaters with my son that my love for superheroes kind of got like rekindled. You know, I grew up on like 90s X-Men, Michael Keaton, Batman, Ninja Turtles, you know, all that great stuff. So, like I said, it's always been a part of me. It's just nothing I was ever able to kind of pursue in a hobby up until recently. And yeah, it's been about 3 years. I started just kind of chasing after some grails that I wanted, doing trades, little sales here and there. And then things started escalating. Things
But
started
what,
escalating very quickly.
but what clicked in you? Like, what made you like say, you know what? I could actually make some money. Was it like
You know what it
quarantine
was?
with the lockdowns?
I think it was the thrill of the hunt, really, because I go out hunting a lot. I meet up with a lot of different people. I go to a lot of different parts of the state I live in. Um, you know, just a week ago, I dug out like 20 long boxes out of somebody's attic. And I think it's just throughout time, I've been gathering more knowledge about the comics. Like I said, I still consider myself like a rookie, so I'm constantly looking stuff up. I don't know what everything is, so I think it's just the thrill of the hunt. And honestly, I've become like a pretty good quote unquote treasure hunter. I like to call it. We like to go hunting for treasure, you know. Um, and yeah, there really isn't anything like that, especially when you know you're able to work out a good deal. Both people are happy. You're able to get something, bring that product to your audience. They're happy with how you're grading, how you're pricing it. You keep going, and it becomes a fruitful business that you're doing. Then, I mean, I want to say it almost doesn't become work, but wrapping packages is fucking work. If anybody tells you that it's not, they're lying.
Well,
Wrapping packages is literally the one thing in this hobby that I'm like, if it didn't have that, it would never be work for me, you know?
yeah, that's actually funny you said that because one of my early experiences of watching you on whatnot would be you doing streams, not selling anything, just wrapping packages.
Oh,
And
after the sale,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
No, well, actually, I would in the early days. I actually caught you doing that before I even saw your sales, and I'm thinking
Mm.
to myself, well, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's just wrapping packages. You're occasionally like doing a giveaway or something, and you just and you just bullshitting and wrapping packages. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? And why am I watching this? And why am I watching this long? For some reason, you developed a little bit of a niche type of audience, and you got a little bit of charisma as well that pulls them in to want to keep watching you wrapping packages. That made you a little different from everybody else. Like, what made you think like people want to watch me wrap packages? What was the first instinct that made you want to do that?
Uh, Honestly, it was the fact that I was constantly having conversations inside DMs with people while I was wrapping packages. As you know, in this community, we talk to each other, we talk about stuff, we talk about pickups. Um, so I was constantly doing FaceTime in like different group chats. I would go live on my own IG because people wanted to talk about a collection that I picked up or something like that. And eventually, I just realized I can do two things at once. I can wrap packages and talk to people and answer their questions, help out a seller, whatever it may be, and be productive at the same time. Lately,
It's
I
just,
haven't really been doing that much. I've kind of been in like a cinema zone where I've been catching up on TV shows, Last of Us, Mandalorian, all that stuff. So lately, I'm like, when I wrap packages, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to catch up on this show. But as the con season's approaching, I think I'm going to be doing more of that.
for me, I personally thought that was genius because not only are you like doing a little bit of Q&A with everybody while you're doing that, they're seeing how you're wrapping everything up, and at the same time they're seeing how much volume you're selling as well, which creates a little bit more faith in actually purchasing something from you at the actual auctions. And on top of that, you're building up a following doing that. So I think it was a very smart move, and I'm shocked. I'm really shocked that more people didn't follow suit. I saw a couple people do it, but not
You,
as
you know
as
you
well
know
as
what
you
the
do.
thing is. You know what the thing is, and I take pride in this, and that's kind of where I get my nickname, right? Like I said, I do everything with a rageful passion. So when I go to wrap packages, I go to wrap packages. I don't mess around. I don't do anything different. I'm not afraid to show how I do it because I'm proud of how I do it. I'm proud of my work. I want to show it off. And I want people to learn how to do something correctly because I used to be a buyer. I wasn't a seller. I used to be just a buyer. And I used to get packages damaged all the time. And I'm like, man, if these people are being this successful doing this and I know how to do this, but probably better, I'm like, I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go kill this now.
You started with the eBay buying,
Oh, always, always.
yeah. So you got some pleasant
Oh,
surprise.
and that don't forget. You know what else I think was a motivation? Now that I'm really thinking about it, was all the traction I was seeing and how much ASMR was getting. When you got
Yeah,
thousands upon
what's with
thousands of
people?
people in there just to watch somebody do this
Yeah,
because they like that. I
what's
don't
with
know,
that?
dude. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't get it.
But I
I
don't
don't
fucking
get
know,
it.
dude.
But
So
they're
I'm like, you know what?
freaking
Maybe
mesmerized.
people don't want to mind listening to tape and cardboard and all that other shit,
I don't get it, but I definitely understand that there is a huge following for that. That's huge.
Very
That,
huge. Very
it's
huge.
weird, it's huge, and it's
It's
popular.
weird,
So
it's huge, and it's not going anywhere.
I don't know. Like honestly, some of the biggest videos I had in my early YouTube thing were me scribbling, literally scribbling and drawing stuff, and people would
I
be
mean,
like,
you kind of touch on it right now. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm sure the chat can chime in and say it too, but like, you're just showing your hands. You have a pretty soothing voice. You're definitely tiptoeing on the ASMR level, my friend.
"Well, I don't know if I do." I think I'm more geared for the mental patient type of audience, but other than that, I mean, maybe,
Nice.
maybe I don't know, but there's everybody's got their thing. You got your thing. I got my thing. Everybody's got their thing. But you started off an IG, I'm assuming, before you did in Whatnot as far as your sales are concerned, right? Or did you
Yeah,
go straight to
I
Whatnot?
started on Instagram. Yep.
I think I remember that. How do you feel the experiences between going from Instagram to Whatnot? Do you feel it's a lot better, a lot more gratifying working through Whatnot, or do you prefer the IG still?
So I've been on Whatnot for a little bit over a year and a half now. And the one thing that I can confidently say, I'll say a few other points, but the one major point I can confidently say, if I didn't do Instagram first, I wouldn't be able to do Whatnot like how I do it now. And that's one of my major tips that I tell all new sellers when they're asking me, hey, I'm thinking about going over to Whatnot. What should I do? And I say, what's your Instagram look like? When's the last time you posted? Have you built up an audience already before you go to another platform that is semi-dependent on you having an audience? Because if you haven't done that and then you go to Whatnot and you wonder why it doesn't go the way you thought it would, that's why. And even when you do have that audience, I'm not sure if you follow or if you check out that I do my Whatnot Wednesday reels. Like, how consistent are you when you post for that sale? Does your audience know when you're doing it? Have you put it in your stories? Have you constantly made people sick and tired of you saying it? Right.
Well, let's
So,
talk about that a
and a
little
lot
bit.
of that I learned from Instagram, right? Like when you're doing an Instagram sale, you got to do posts, you got to tag people, you got to put it in your story. It's no different than when you go to Whatnot. You have to bring those same principles over there. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, but let's get into that a little bit. But before we do that, there is a question that I do want to just address for a second. Marcus, what is the true what is true Whatnot invented crime? Well,
Stupid question.
Is
that
it
is.
true? Whatnot?
What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
all right, no stupid questions right now. There will be a time for
Hey,
stupid
I
questions
was
later.
just talking to him today on the phone too. Good guy right there. Good guy right there.
We'll ask all the stupid questions later. Then when we do open it up for the Q&A. But all right, you see what you did? You made Trump come out. You know, I try to keep
Hey,
him
I
locked
didn't
up.
do anything. I didn't do
Not
anything.
you, the freaking Marcus over there. Circumstances. Let's keep Trump in the box for now. Yeah, he's a big follower of my channel. I don't know if you know that, but every
Oh,
so often
really?
he pops up. But he always has his 2 cents about stupid questions. But that being said, um, you did dive into that Whatnot experience as far as giving advice for people that are going from the IG to Whatnot or having an established presence. There's a lot of work into being on Whatnot, right? It's not like it's like a given. You get on there and all of a sudden you're instantaneously selling, even if you do have a reputation, right?
I still to this day have shows that aren't my best shows.
So you got to keep grinding at it. Sometimes you're going to take a loss on something.
And like I said, that might have been a day where I decided to do a pop up and I got lazy and I didn't post it on Instagram. Or maybe I could have graded a few more extra books to add to my preview to spice it up a little bit. You know, I always take a look at myself and say, okay, well, what did I do wrong that made this different than the last show I did? There's always a reason for it, right? It could be time of day, you're going out of your normal schedule, whatever it is.
It also comes
But I
down to how
still
much.
have bad shows.
It also depends on how much energy you have too, right?
And my definition of a bad show is basically when books go for below FMV, right? So I still to this day have bad shows.
And it also comes down to how much energy you have during that show because Whatnot is not a thing where you're just literally posting something and it's selling itself. You need to be somewhat entertaining when you're showing
I
that.
mean, they have that option now in your shop. You can definitely post things, and people can do like buy it nows. You could post in your story. People can buy in there as well. And the one thing I'm not afraid to say this because I'm kind of an open book here. I'm a big advocate for people having a tool belt. And what that means is like all the apps that we use and all the channels of distribution that we use to sell comic books, those are all different tools, right? So you're not going to take a screwdriver when you need a hammer. And what that means is Whatnot is a very specific tool for a very specific job. That doesn't mean every book belongs on there, but that does mean that some books do belong on there.
It also
And
comes
so I
down
think
to
once people kind of figure out what app is good for what type of book or what price range, that's when you should be going for. At the end of the day, everybody should be utilizing Instagram and all the other Facebook Marketplace, everything else that has a 0% fee. If you're not utilizing that first, you're doing yourself a disservice. Just saying.
yeah, but at the same time, Whatnot takes away a lot of the extra issues that could come out from
Well,
IG or what.
and
Or
my
YouTube.
argument to that is, okay, you have to go DM people, you have to go get paid, you have to invoice them,
You
you have
got
to
chased.
create your own shipping label. But you know what? That's the price you pay for not paying that fee.
True. You give and
You do a little
you
bit
take.
more work, you get a little bit more money. I mean, that sounds like the way it's just always been.
Absolutely. Like you feel that. Do you still use other platforms like eBay or anything like that as well, or
Oh yeah, I
you?
got Pokemon cards listed on eBay right now. You know, I got a short box I'm prepping for an IG sale later on tonight. That's like Bronze Age horror. You know, I got a Whatnot box I'm prepping for next week. Yeah.
And do you get any
I just
kind of?
sold 10 short boxes 2 weeks ago on Facebook Marketplace with a gentleman locally who met me somewhere and picked it up.
Oh, it's funny you said that about Facebook Marketplace. You actually still using that? I find that a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
people have abandoned that platform.
That's because they're not using it correctly.
There you go. There you go. Use it correctly, and you'll be able to get the fruits and
Use
rewards.
the tool, don't let the tool use you.
Well, I have to agree with you on you get what you get put into it. Yeah, you have to put in the effort. You got to use all your tools correctly. You know, and at the same time, you have to have a certain skill set that either you develop or you have off the get go. You can't you can't just be one of these people that put up things and say buy it and go away. You have to sell. You have to sell not only your product yourself at the same time. Every time you develop salesperson skills. That's how I feel, personally
Well, I
view it.
always say it, when people buy something from you, they're not just buying the book.
To buy you.
They could just go to eBay. They could just go somewhere else and buy that book.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly. And that's why whatnot doesn't apply for a lot of people. A lot of people get frustrated and abandon the service a lot faster than they should. They don't put the amount of time in there. They have a couple of shows, they're flops, and they walk away after that and say it's a horrible service. But it's worked for you. And what's probably worked for you even more and whatnot is that you're part of that whole whatnot crew, right? That Wednesday whatnot crew, wacky
what
Wednesday
now
crew,
Wednesday? What now
whatnot
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Uh,
It's a
what
fine
got
group
you?
of individuals.
What got you involved with them? What made you? Did they approach you? Did you approach them? How did that work out? Where you did you know them all already?
And I say this with the utmost respect. Everything that I'm involved in, on Instagram, off of Instagram, everything like that, I've been asked. I've never asked for a single thing.
Well, that's a positive thing. So they saw some value in you and said, you know what, we got this
I hope
handsome,
so.
we got this handsome guy that could sell stuff. Let's put him in here and sell some books. So I
Yeah,
guess
and essentially, I'm kind of sounding. I'm probably going to sound like Nick Fury here, but essentially, the idea, and it still stands true to this day because we have numbers that back this up. But the idea was to have to get a bunch of like-minded people who already sell and who already know how to grade and already know how to ship and don't have issues with customer service, to go on in the app the same day to promote it, to let people know that it's a platform that they can use to sell comic books.
it
And as
seems
a
like
result of that, it's a lot of people have joined the app. A lot of people have started businesses. A lot of people have gotten out of bankruptcy. I know a lot of people personally that have turned their lives around because of Whatnot solely.
it seemed like it was a good fit for you to be part of that group. I think you all work well together.
Well,
And
I'm a part. I like to take pride in that. Actually, I'm a part of a lot of different groups. Again, not to try to sound too cocky, but I almost like to consider myself like a Wolverine. I'm on the Avengers. I'm on the X-Men. If the X-Force called me, I might show up there too.
so you don't have any exclusive allegiance. You basically go where you want it, and it makes sense.
I have an exclusive allegiance to Rage Theo.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And
Basically means, yeah, I'm the boss of myself.
you actually go by the same psychology and the same mentality that I personally like to preach to people. You got to have a little bit of ego in yourself, and I got to have a little bit
Just
of
a little bit. Just a little bit. Always be
know.
humble, but when it's needed, don't be afraid to throw it out.
Yeah, there's no reason in believing. There's no wrong thing in believing yourself and actually saying
I mean,
that
nobody else is going to do it. So if you
yeah,
don't
you
do
got to
it,
play
who's
for
going to do
yourself,
it, right? Nobody else is going to do it for you.
and that's what's going to get you to excel to the further level. And maybe it's that attitude that you have and that mentality that you have that even in like a lot of controversies that have been going on in the past with the whatnot haters and that kind of stuff, you seem to have like weathered that and not really took a lot of the same bullets that other more the ones that more visibly got them during those times in IG and through YouTube and that kind of thing. You seem to like you kind of under the radar, cool, collective kind of a thing. Nothing really seems to bother you, and nobody really gets you involved in that. You think that your mindset kind of keeps you distant from those kind of controversies?
I think so. I don't really let any of that kind of stuff like bother me or slow me down. I'll take note of who says what and how they say it. Um, and that can get dealt with when it gets dealt with, but I won't ever let it slow me down or distract me from accomplishing my goal. Hell no.
Oh, but you don't forget.
That'll just motivate me to flex even harder, actually. That's what a lot of people don't understand is like the
Good
more
for
I
you.
hear and the more I see, that's usually when you see me going a little harder.
Good for you. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm starting
I'm
to
one of
like you
those
more and
types of
more.
motherfuckers. Yeah.
I'm starting to like you more and more as we talk about this stuff because I got a real mentality towards that. Double down and just embrace it and keep running forward. That's the kind of thing
I mean, the only
well,
person that's going to slow me down is me or my wife. That's the only other person I would ever like to impact me.
well, you kind of have to know you have to at that point. Yeah,
Well, I mean, happy wife, happy life, right? Come on now.
yeah,
It's no secret. It's no secret.
yeah. No, that is the secret. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah,
Unless
right.
you're unhappy. But it works out really well, really well. And so everything has been like it seems like you've been on a roller coaster ride going up consistently in trajectory through whatnot through IG. And in the past couple of months you started venturing more into YouTube, which is
Oh
really
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, we
uh,
started myself and Phil, One True Nerd King. We started a Comics and Chaos YouTube channel, um, which essentially we talk about comics, pop culture, movies. I think we just talked about toys and Funkos the other day. Um, we had the people on recently the story about selling Superman, where they inherited like the most massive collection known to man. Really, it's just been a really good place to have like-minded people come on and shoot the shit, kind of like what you're doing.
well uh, kind of this right now is kind of going towards light. The other stuff that we do on this channel is a little bit different. I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch any of the Insomniacs, but
I gotta check the Insomnia. I've watched most of the interviews though. Yeah.
if you ever catch an Insomniac, it's one of those things where you're talking comics, you're talking pop culture, you're talking all kinds of stuff like that, and all of a sudden it goes off the rails and then brings it back in. It's just one of these. You get a different kind of crowd after midnight. You definitely get a different crowd.
Believe me, I know they asked for the feet pics.
You get all kinds of picks. Sure.
After midnight, they all come out.
But it's definitely fun. I'll tell you something. It's fun and it's a release, so it's a good thing to do. Now, let me ask you something about Phil. What exactly makes him the one true nerd king? How does he get that title? He just all of a sudden said, "I'm going to be the true nerd king, and nobody else is going to be." Like, how do? That's a little bit of arrogance. That's beyond the ego. Well, what makes him the king?
I can't speak on his behalf because he is his own man, and
Well, you are co-host with him, and
I am not his messenger. But the one thing I can say about Phil is, no matter the time of day or when I call him, or if we're talking about something else besides comics, somehow this man will always bring it back to comics. Well, our conversation won't start on comics, but it'll end on comics. It could start on comics, it'll still end on comics. If I have a question about like modern comics, it's usually the guy I'm asking. As far as the king title, I can't say anyone is the king. You know,
Well,
people have
you are
even
his
joked with me and
co-host.
said, "Oh, you're the king of selling." I'm like, "No, you can call me a knight. I'm definitely not the king, though. I know the kings, and those guys are crazy. Uh, I'm not
You
a
are.
king, though.
Look at this like this. You are his co-host, and he's calling himself like a king. Well, like, what does that make you? His gesture? What the hell?
I'll be the knight. How's that? I'll be the knight.
All right. I think I might have to get Phil on here one night and one day, and then basically you have to question him
I'm
about his.
surprised you didn't. We would have both came out at the same time.
Well, I don't realize you would have wanted to come out together. Maybe I'll have you both on together next time.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll come on as comics and chaos. There you go.
We'll come out like that, you know. Yeah, I find that a little bit arrogant. I find that a little bit, just a little bit, you know. But hey, I'm not a co-host with him. If my co-host wanted to be the king, if Kool-Aid Man wanted to be the king, I'd have to have a battle with him and figure out who's the king, who's the real king. But we'll take it from there. You know,
Well, see, that's pride right there that you're talking, and that is a deadly, deadly thing right there. Can't have too much pride, right?
Oh, you gotta have pride.
I mean, think about it. Somebody can call themselves the king. That's fine.
You want everybody else to call you the king. That's basically it. But,
no, you don't want anybody to call you the king because then you got the target on your back. See, the king's always at the top of the hit list.
When you're the one with the target on the back, that means you're doing something right.
I should step it up then. That's what I'm hearing.
It means you're doing something right because nobody's targeting and nobody's aiming for the loser. You got to think of it like that.
Hey.
You know, that's how it goes. So you're having fun with this right now. It's only been a couple months that you've been running the channel. And
oh yeah, that's the YouTube's kind of the least stressful app I use.
Where do you see this going as far as like your YouTube experience? Like somehow...
Well, we'll both be at C2E2 together. I think we'll be going to San Diego and New York. We're definitely going to be doing a lot more interviews on scene with dealers and other sellers that I know, and other content creators that Phil knows. You know, and that's kind of where like we blend in the comics and the chaos because we both know, you know, a good amount of people on both sides of the line right there.
Well, we'll definitely have to hook up on when you're in New York. I'll definitely see you there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you're going to be going to Heroes Con, the one in North Carolina. I'm going to be going to that one.
No. I think this year maybe Baltimore, but for sure New York, San Diego, Chicago. Yeah.
You're going after the big boys. Makes sense.
I mean, go big or go home, right? Come on now.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, I got to travel. You know, it costs a lot of money. I got to leave my family. So if I'm doing it, it really has to be worth it. You know, it's got to be an excellent con to go to.
So where do you see like the YouTube thing? Is it going? Are you going for something as far as making it something that's solvent, monetized, and actually you can make some money off of it? Are you doing it as a goof?
Oh, I mean, we would love to eventually get monetized, of course, but I think as of right now, it's just like I said, kind of like an open forum, safe place for people that like superheroes to come and chill and hang out.
Just an added vehicle and promotion to the rest of the stuff that you do. In other words.
I mean, more or less, but like I said, that's kind of independent. I don't really plan on doing any sales over on YouTube. I mean, we may in the future. I don't think so. Just from the sales I've watched, it seems kind of, I don't know, just seems like a lot more of a hassle, to be honest.
It's a lot more of a hassle. It's very sketchy on YouTube as well.
Yeah, you know, you kind of got to wait for people to pay you on the spot. I don't really like that.
It's a little sketchy. I'll tell you that.
I'd rather deal with people that I already trust, or like somebody that like an app like eBay or whatnot has already like vetted, you know, because they have to pay you right away, you know, or like Instagram, when somebody buys from you, it could be somebody that you've already talked to for the past 6 months, or somebody that a friend of yours, or somebody that you've been following for a while, so you know they're not going to stiff you over on a payment. You know, YouTube, it's like, I don't even know if this is this person's name right here.
Well, usually it never is.
And that's most of the time it doesn't even match their Instagram, you know, because from my experience, most people's whatnot names don't match their Instagram names either. That's another thing for you sellers out there. Make sure all your names match.
It would make sense. It would make a lot of sense.
You'd think so. You'd think so.
You would think so. You definitely would think so, but it doesn't happen that way. So what's the end game? Is this like you want to stay as an online presence? Or you ever want to open up shop somewhere? What is your thought process? You ever go with brick and mortar, or that's
I
like
don't
not an
I
option?
don't think I'll go the brick and mortar, although it sounds very enticing to do so because I have a lot of friends who have done it and they have to turn away collections because of the amount that they get brought to them. So that sounds amazing. Would that take away the thrill of the hunt eventually? Probably.
Oh, but it also saves a lot of time for you too, as well.
It does save a lot of time. When you own a brick and mortar, you're a little bit more concerned about dollars and cents, though.
What area do you live
Which
in?
is another thing I've noticed. You know, you're kind of, you can wiggle a little less, right? When you're making deals, you're
That's
kind of
true.
stuck on a price because you got to keep the lights on. When you're doing this out of your home or out of like a side, warehouse that you have or something like that, I think there's a lot less financial responsibility. Granted, you get a lot less collections brought to you, maybe less business because you're not getting that walk-in business, right? But if you focus on your online presence, I mean, it's 2023. I mean, everybody right now has got a smartphone, I would say, unless they're like hitting retirement or something. Most people have a smartphone. Most people have the apps that we use. We're talking on right now. I don't think the digital shopping space is going to go anywhere. I think it's just going to get bigger.
So how do you go hunting right now? Like, do you basically depend on your audience, on your followers to come and approach you? Do you Craigslist it? How do you go about finding your?
So I very rarely get approached by any of my following to buy their collections, and I don't know if that's because I don't advertise that I'm buying or because they know I'm going to sell it. I don't know, but I buy, sell, and trade. So if anyone out there is selling, feel free to reach out to me. But normally my contacts come from like established contacts that I've had since I was just a buyer, honestly. I got existing relationships with some storage unit owners, some antique shop owners, some flea market owners, a lot of the people that you wouldn't assume have comics.
That probably works out the best for you because usually you get the
Well,
best
it
deals.
works out the best for both people because I don't pay as much as if I bought those from an LCS. They don't have to worry about the fees and taxes and shipping, and everyone's happy. And
Makes sense.
because I've been able to sell it, move inventory, I get those calls more. Hey, I got another unit. Hey, I just found another box. So a lot of it is like reoccurring business.
And you're learning on the job, and you're learning quickly right now as far as how that's going. And I got a feeling sooner or later there's gonna be something more to Rage Theo as far as just online. I just have that feeling. You don't seem like the guy.
We'll give it time. We'll give
You
it
just
time.
don't seem like that kind of guy that will settle for stuff. I think you want a little bit more down the line, but we'll see. Time will tell. But that being said, I know that you're a little bit strapped in time, so I'm gonna open up the forum for anybody that has any questions to be able to ask you, and we'll see
Yeah, let it rip.
what kind of nonsense we're gonna hear right now. Hold
Yeah,
on.
let it rip.
Any questions?
You gonna answer no questions, and I won't tell you no lies.
Hey Lord, don't ask me questions. Hey Lord, don't ask me questions, please.
What do you want? What do you want from us? To ask you this much is just a matter of trust, not an affront. What do you want?
All right. So let's see anybody that has any questions that I might have missed earlier.
Oh,
That
by
were
the way,
on.
I didn't even have access to my chat till now on my side computer, but I don't want to hijack the stream. Can I say what's up to a couple people? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, BFit, K-pop, Bronze Age Nerd, TM Nerdy, I saw you, Trev, Shipping Guru, and Circumstances. What is up, guys?
Look at you. Look at that. I think this might be an influencer first. The actual guest actually says hello to everybody that's in there. Usually they're not acknowledged like that.
Well, one of my favorite quotes. You ever seen From Dusk Till Dawn?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Then you'll know. I'm an asshole. I am not a fucking asshole.
There you go.
There is a difference. There is a difference.
Probably one of the best movies that's so underrated right now.
That's one of his best, hands down.
George Clooney made that movie. He definitely did. But that being said, while everybody's thinking of their questions, I'm going to ask you a couple questions as well. If you had to do something differently, as far as the way you started off, uh, what would you have done different? Like, what was the biggest mistake you made along the way?
It's a pretty good question, actually.
While you're thinking of that, I'm going to ask you another question to ask Phil when you speak to him. Why the hell isn't he here in the chat supporting his freaking co-host on this interview? Phil, the more I think about it, the more I want you on an interview.
Well, I know
Well-
he's with his kid right now, but I'm a big boy. It's okay. Honestly, the one thing I could say would probably be to sell a little harder.
What do you mean by sell a little harder? Like push the product harder or sell?
No, do more sales when the opportunity was there to do it, because there's books that I'm chasing now that I could have got about a year and a half ago that just are kind of escaping me now. And I also think another thing I probably would fix if I could go back in time was to buy most of the books that I came across instead of pick through it. Because at the time I just didn't know, right? I just kind of went with what I knew, which was mainly X-Men. So I would pass up on titles that like now I know is like $100 book or like a $200 book, right? So just because you don't know if the book is worth something, if it's able to be incorporated into the collection deal and you just pay a little bit more, it might be worth it. That's probably
So
the
you would
major.
bundle-
That's probably the major thing I would fix.
You would have done more bundling and that kind
Which
of
is
thing.
now,
more
which is
bulk?
why now I buy everything, right? I'll buy a whole collection now. 2 years ago, I'd be like, well, you know what? I kind of only want 3 boxes out of your 20. So let's work out a deal for this, and then you can have that.
It always
When I should
costs
have
you
just
more.
got all of it, you know?
Yeah, it always costs you more waiting cherry picking. That's definitely
It
Yeah,
does. It kind of makes it so though you kind of know, like, you really know how much you're going to spend and make type thing, because you know you're getting like really good stuff. But again, it's like there's a lot of stuff in there that at the time I didn't know. So yeah, I would probably go back and fix that.
makes a lot of sense. That's a good. That's a good answer.
So if you can buy everything, buy everything. Long story short.
Let's get to a couple more questions. Rudy, is there a fair price that you would venture to place a short box of unbagged general modern age comics? All right, so that's a good question. Like somebody's coming to you with random moderns in there, and do you like just price like say $50 a box, $25 a box, $100 a box, or do you have to go sift through it?
I have to flip through it.
You flip
Always.
through everything. So when you get like
Always.
somebody that comes in with like 100 boxes, 200 boxes, you can go through everything.
The most I've gotten before is 30 longs, and that took me, it would be faster now. This is like a year ago, but that took me about 4 hours to go through every box. So yes, I would go through every box. I need to know.
You need to know. You're not
I need
into
to know.
that. You're not
No,
into that
I don't
surprise.
like mystery. I just did a segment on this. I don't like mystery bags. I don't like I got to know what I'm buying. I have to know. I need to know. Is there a 181 in that other box? Or is that other box filled with Turok ones? I just mentally, I need to know.
So you won't just like quickly glance and
Oh yeah,
Right.
I just need to see the top 1/3 of everything. I'm good.
I got you. So
Yeah.
you'll take a quick glance and
Yeah.
get an idea what's in there.
Yeah,
And then
I'll get a
if you-
generalized idea of how much per box, and I'll just keep track. Okay, 200, 500. This one's 1,000. This one's probably 2,000. You know, like.
And what's the
So on.
biggest surprise you ever got going through a collection like that, where you didn't know that was in there until you went through them thoroughly?
It was an estate sale that I went to my first year of collecting. And if this happened the way it should have, we would probably be having a completely different conversation right now. But I basically I made friends with an estate owner who contacted me for estate sales. He just got an estate sale because somebody had passed away. And long story short, I'll try to make this fast. But an old couple was collecting since very, very early, like 50s. And what they did was they bought the issue off the rack and then they took it and put it in the bottom of a box, right? And I'm talking like here's the book, they put it in the box, and then they bought issue 2 and put it on top, issue 3, all the way right until the box was full, and then they did it with the next box, the next box. So when I got the call to go check out the collection, this couple had Hulk like 1 to 300, like ASM 1 to 300, like Iron Man 1 to 3, all the issue Fantastic Four like 1 to 200, like Avengers like 1 to 250. It was a crazy collection. The problem with this though was that they never bagged and boarded it. They didn't put the boxes in any type of humid control climate environment. And so what happened was all of the books from like issues like 1 to 50 were like water damage, like molded, rusted. Man, when I was going through there, I shit you not, and this is like early IG, I should have recorded this stuff, but I peeled off a Hulk 1 off of like just by taking issue 2 off of it. The fucking front cover came off. It was stuck to the back of issue 2.
Oh man,
brother! When I tell you that, like, I went from like, oh my god, to like this heart in my ass. I mean it. Like ASM, like 1 to 100 was just like this. And like mushed together. The staples were like completely rusted in a straight brown line. Whenever you took, every single page came off like string cheese, dude.
So knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently? Like,
I mean, there's nothing you could do differently about that. I mean,
well, you could just leave them alone.
I mean, now that I'm looking at it, maybe put them near like a dehumidifier and like a batch of rice for like a week and use tweezers and a butter knife. I don't know. But yeah, that was the greatest. That was the greatest and most heartbreaking find I've ever had.
And you didn't buy them, or you walked away?
Well, no, he didn't want to sell all of the damaged ones, and I didn't want the damaged ones, so I ended up getting, I think, like issues like 150 and up on most of the runs.
Ah, geez.
Which Hulk 181's in there. There's a lot of good. I wish you guide me towards
those damaged ones. This has got plenty of value.
Well, when I mean like water, mold, rust, I mean it. Like I don't think anybody would want it. Like some of it had black mold on it. Thank God this was like in the beginning of COVID. So I already had a mask on, like glove. You know what I mean? Like I was already like germ phobic at this time, so it was like a blessing in disguise. I had a mask on, dude.
Believe me, there's good magicians out there that know how to de-acidify and do all this kind of crazy bath stuff to these comics.
Well, I mean, now I know that, right? At the time, no, I didn't know that. Yeah,
that's wild. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
My heart's breaking for you on that one.
I've only told that story a few times. Yeah,
my heart is breaking for you. I wish you grabbed a few pictures of that. So we got another question from Bronze Age. What do you think of the comic community drama that's been prevalent the last year or so?
I mean, that's kind of an open-ended question. Any examples?
Well, you have to follow up with us, Bronze, if there's any examples of what you mean as far as the.
I mean, if you're just talking about the general negativity that's existent, I mean, it seems like a bunch of grown-ass men acting like babies.
You're gonna have haters coming around from all.
I mean, if you're talking about people hating on other people that are successful, I mean, jealousy is a bitch. I think that people, before they judge, they need to check themselves, right?
You think it's more of a thing of have and have-nots, or why should
it's like I think it goes back to the quote, like let he who's without sin cast the first stone.
That's a good quote to use on that one,
right? How about that?
Definitely a good way to approach that one. Bronze, if you want to follow up on that, I withdraw the question. He says, these guys are right. Never drama in comics. Yeah, well, there is drama. There's plenty of drama in comics.
I mean, there's drama, but there's different types of drama, right? There's different categories with it. There's different people that are involved. I mean, so if you're just talking generally about the drama, I mean, it sucks. people should find something else to do instead of bitch about something. And if people are causing the drama, then they need to check themselves and figure out why they're making people upset, right?
Follow up. I meant in general, there's a major uptick in drama, beefs, etc. I don't really need any specifics, but yeah, well, I think we kind of answer that. Right. It's a question of people being a little bit uptight. Um, Jealousy, I guess, is a factor that plays in with a lot of people, right?
Well, I just think one of the major issues with most of the people that kind of bitch about drama is they never have a solution,
Or they like
right?
drama.
They just complain. There's never
Yeah,
a solution that's provided.
some people
I
like it.
I think that if, and like I said, I usually put everything out there, but I think if most people are kind of just open about what they're doing and how they're doing it, there really shouldn't be any drama coming your way.
No, there definitely shouldn't be any kind of drama, but it comes. It comes. Listen, if there's somebody successful, they're going to have people that are not happy with their success making a big issue of it. Now, some people, they deserve it. You got to admit, there's some douchebags in the community, right? As far as doing the wrong thing by people, not selling selling facsimiles instead of real comics to people, like all kinds of like notorious stuff that has happened. That happens,
Right.
you know, and they deserve to get a lot of that hatred thrown at it. But somebody that's doing I mean, you're doing this as a living. Do you have any other job that you're doing as well, or this
Oh
your
no, I'm just a stay-at-home dad.
so this is your primary source of income for yourself?
Well, I mean, no, my wife makes a decent income, but
Well, as far as your earnings, as far as what you do, this is how you earn your money, right? As far as
oh yeah, buying, selling, and trading comics. Yeah.
so that in itself should have people lay off. You're doing this for a living. You're not doing this as like some kind of like goof or whatever, or you're trying to put food on your table by doing it. And it's
Well,
it's a,
I mean, honestly, just take a look at it, all the, just take a look at my pages and the stuff I do. You have to like this to do this. There are plenty of other ways that other people could go and be douchebags and scam people for money and probably get way more money, and not in comics. Just saying, you have to really like this. This is a labor of love. I think I saw a
Absolutely.
couple comments in the chat in there that said it too. Like, yeah, sleepless nights, staying up till 3 a.m. grading, staying up all night wrapping packages, and rinsing and repeating.
yeah.
Like that, you need to like that. You need to love that.
And if you don't, you're in the wrong business. That's basically what it
I
comes down
completely
to.
agree.
I think we kind of answer this question. What has been your most effective way of secret comic book treasures? Right?
Establishing the contacts you already have that initially hooked you up, and showing them that you can move it quick, so that when they get it next time, it's no question that they go to you.
I love this question by Kamikaze. What makes you happy about the community?
I would have to say it's the willingness to help even when not asked.
You see, there's a lot of generous people, a lot of helpful people in the
There are a
community.
lot of helpful, very generous, very unique, and just really freaking nice people in this community. There's people that send me AOKs and send me letters and call me and check up on me, even when I don't ask, and I don't I don't really need to be checked up on, but it's the fact that people feel the need to do that, and they're so nice to do that. So yeah, I would say it's the good deeds and good heart that this community has at its core would be my favorite thing.
That's a great way to approach it. And I'm going to actually ask you one last question for myself. And I want to get your take on this. Lately, there's been a lot of controversy as far as quote unquote who's part of the real comic book community and who's not part of the real comic book community. What do you think the real comic book community is? And do you feel you're a part of it? Do you feel like we're all part of it in our own different ways?
I think everybody's a part of it. I think since I first got into this hobby, it took myself a while to feel accepted.
Why is that?
Because anybody that's new that comes in here, they probably feel like a novice because you're surrounded by people who have read most of these titles for the past 30, 40 years, have collections that you can dream of. And yeah, I come, like I said earlier in this interview, I come to this hobby from the movies.
You feel that
I saw
there's
Captain America lift Mjolnir, and I created an Instagram account because I was listening to a couple people on YouTube telling me that most of the community for this hobby is on Instagram.
do you feel there was gatekeeping or people not being
I
as
feel like there was gatekeeping
inclusive?
and people trying to hold me back from kind of pursuing what I wanted with regards to like my PC and selling. And those are just people that you never want around you. You know, those are people that say they're your friends, but they never want what's best for you. So that's not a friend. You know, people
So
are your
you
friends are the people that clap for you when you succeed and are honest with you when you're not asking for honesty.
So, like, give me an understanding. When you first got involved, you made your channels or your Instagram. You started getting involved. People, I guess, were inviting at that time when you first did it, and then all of a sudden, when you started getting more involved in selling and that kind of thing, you felt that there was resistance or something different.
No, I felt like the resistance has kind of like gone away. Um, I don't really know why. If anything, it probably should have gotten heightened, but it kind of went away when I started selling. But I don't know. I don't know.
Well, the thing
I
is,
mean,
if you're doing something and
I
you're
created the
doing
account to buy, sell, and trade. That's why I created Rage Theo.
well, if you're doing something, you're doing it well for long enough. Sooner or later, people give up on calling you a novice and realize that all right, this kind of guy kind of knows what he's doing at this point.
I mean, I would like to think so, but like I said, I'm learning new stuff every day. I'm not perfect.
Listen, you're going to get that guy that's been collecting for 50 years that you're going to talk to, and he's going to make you feel like this small
Oh,
just because
every day,
you don't know anything.
every day, bro.
You snot-nosed punk. What the hell do you think you're talking about? I was working at the freaking comic distributor, and I was the one that inserted every staple at a time, so I know what I'm talking about. Like you got to have those kind of people that are into the community. So it's going to happen, but you feel that this community is it's a weird community, right? As far as like you
Well,
got
I mean that, and honestly, I don't want to say like I'm immune to the drama. I think maybe it's just that I don't care, and I
I
think
think
that most of the people that are affiliated with the drama, I've either gone out of my way to already talk to them, and we didn't disagree, so I block them because I just don't want to be involved in that bullshit.
you
I
grew
don't
a thick
want people to
skin.
tag me in drama. I don't want people to really send me the drama. If it involves me, sure, I'll take a look at it. But otherwise, if anybody has anything to say, they could just say it to me. They could just call me.
There you go. So if you got a problem with Rage Steel, you don't look at him all nice and smiley right now. He's got some rage inside him. He'll take it out
Just
on you.
give me a call. Yeah, we could have a we could have a civilized conversation anytime.
And if you need it, you got that inner rage that you can unleash. So it's not as if you're going to be passive about it. So don't look at him like that.
I'm always respectful. Come on now.
You're so nice. You're so freaking.
I take pride in positive interactions.
I'll give that to you. You know what? You're always turning something into positive. And I like that. I like it when people don't.
It's better that way. It's better
It
that
is.
way.
It definitely is. So I'm going to ask one last question from the audience, and I'm going to give you a chance right after to do your plugging thing. Question: if comics were not your primary hobby, what other hobby would be your passion? Oh, that's a good question.
So it's what I still do now, and that's what I did before comics, and that's collecting weapons.
Wow, you were a weapons guy.
Yeah, I collect knives, swords, guns, ammo. Things like
You
that.
still do that? You have a wide collection?
I do. I like to go shooting.
Vintage?
I love to go skeet shooting. That's honestly, if there were nothing to do and I had a nice backyard, I would probably just do skeet gun shooting every day.
Vintage stuff or
Oh yeah, double barrel shotguns. It's one of my favorite things. Yeah.
wow, and where do you live? What state are you in?
California.
So you got plenty of areas to be able to go shooting.
Oh yeah, they like the double barrel shotgun. You can't put more than 10 rounds in there. They they love that shotgun. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. That's actually something that I didn't realize about you. So,
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I used to like to take apart guns, do my own custom builds and work on them and stuff like that.
so it looks like we got to the end today. It looks like you still have some of a smile on you. You're not angry at me yet. So that's a pretty good thing. That's a very good sign that this interview went well.
Yeah, it's great questions, man.
I wanted to give you the chance to, well, thank you. Thank you. We use thank you here, by the way. How do you feel about thank you? Now that you're making videos on YouTube, we have a big controversy here as well. I'm a big believer at the end or the beginning or any time in between in your video, a thank you should go out to the audience that's viewing. Well, how do you feel about that? Do you think a thank you is appropriate to the people that are viewing when you're making a video?
Most definitely, they took time out of their day, so yeah.
Right? It's only a decent thing. For some reason, you got a bunch of curmudgeons over here that like, no, you shouldn't say thank you. You just say your tagline. No, screw you. You say thank you. You say thank you, then you say what else do you want. That's my mentality. But that being said, now you heard it.
Oh,
Steve.
by the way, Bronze Age, I prefer side by side, but I can roll with the over under.
And how you call it? You're a smoker too. What kind of cigarettes do you smoke?
I don't smoke cigarettes.
Oh, you smoke the other stuff, huh?
No, I have a vape right here. This is nicotine. It's a Juul pod,
Yeah.
I used to smoke, but yeah, I don't like to smoke cigarettes anymore. They smell,
Yeah, I get it.
Too much ash everywhere.
Yeah, I'm an old school bastard, so I smoke cigarettes. And hey, what are you gonna do? You can't get it out of your system. But that being said, why don't you tell us about how to be able to reach you? Anything that's coming up soon for you? Anything you want to promote? Now's your chance.
Well, I'm Rage Theo on all platforms. I sell on IG. I sell on Whatnot. You guys can find me on YouTube, Comics and Chaos. And if anybody ever has any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to reach out to me via DM or give me a call. We can chat anytime.
That's it. No big show coming up. No big sale. No nothing.
I would have a couple sales lined up. It's okay. If you guys follow me on there, you'll know when it is. Don't worry.
Oh, so you're a tease. You're not gonna just tell everybody. You have to come.
All right,
So
fine.
go-
You want to know? I have a Power Hour IG sale tonight. I got a sale on Wednesday.
that's what I'm
for
trying to get
Whatnot.
at.
Okay. All right. There you go. There you go.
I'm trying to help promote you, and you're being modest all of a sudden. The guy with the ego was modest.
Hey, like
hell?
I said, Rage response, right? It's give and take, give and take.
So go do his rage hour tonight, and you. What are you selling? Moderns, old stuff. What are you doing?
Actually, tonight it's mostly Bronze Age horror.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I picked up a collection, and we kind of went through all the bigger keys and other more sought-after books last week. I had a lot of requests to go through the DC horror that they saw in my preview video, so I just got all that bagged and boarded, graded, and priced, and I think I'm probably gonna go live tonight and sell that.
Very cool. So go check out Rage Theo. Go follow him, and if you're gonna go to Chaos and Comics, make sure that you subscribe to him and leave a comment on his videos telling him about his King complex over there.
Comics and Chaos.
Comics and Chaos. Comics and Chaos. What did I say? What did I say? Did I say the
No,
opposite?
that's what you said. That's what you said. Yeah.
Comics and Chaos. The link is in the description. My mod extraordinaire, K-pop, has already thrown in multiple times in the chat. Go find him, sub him up, follow him on IG, go to Whatnot, and I think if they go to Whatnot, do you have any of those link things that you do where they could get 10% or something like that off? You have any of that stuff that they could do on Whatnot?
I mean, I'm sure I do, but don't worry about it.
All right, I'm trying to freaking help you, man. What the hell? Like, all right.
Hey, just give me a follow. If you guys see something that you like, buy it. If not, whatever. Doesn't matter.
All right. So go follow him or not or whatever. Like him or don't like him. He's there. He's got good stuff. He's interesting. He's doing a good YouTube channel now. and welcome to the YouTube community.
I appreciate you. Like I said, next time we'll definitely try to get myself and Phil on. We'll get you on our channel too in the near future too. Deal?
Well, look at this. Look at this. Journey's becoming big time. He's going to be on Rage Theo, sir. I'm looking forward to it. So,
Oh, you're talking about your channel's bigger than mine. Get out of here.
well, yeah, but I got all the creatures of the night. It's different. But how you call it?
All right.
So how you call it? I appreciate you. We're gonna sign off. I'm gonna play my intro again at the end because that's what we do. And good night, everybody. Thank you very much. Thank you, Theo.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
And we'll catch you all soon. Next interview is on Wednesday with Brian LCS, and there's a lot of controversy with him. You're gonna love to hate him. So you'll see what happens. All right, end this.